What is going on, everyone? Semi-original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another round in the official Classy Boy Tag Team Tag Tournament that I am hosting on my Discord. 5 teams of 2 registered for this tournament, and this is another round 1 game. Today we are featuring Team Stall Brawl, which is Xylito and GVanna, versus Team F4llout, which is Dark Raider and Winter Fox. So hopefully we got a good one on our hands here, folks. I have been dabbling a little bit in this game. You know, I've taken a few looks here and there to what was going on briefly, but I've left it relatively spoiler free. So hopefully we're gonna have a good one. Relatively spoiler free indeed. So without further ado, as we know, this is a tag team tag tournament, which means each player gets to pick 2 COs. For this map, we get to pick a tier 3 CO and a tier 1 CO. Now we have Team Stall Brawl going in as Max and Adder. So we got a lot of direct combat firepower for this one, and a lot of movement fire for this one. We also have Olaf and Jess. So we are going with global damage and also firepower and movement. Because Jess, you know, she gets that movement, folks. She gets that movement. Now, on Team F4llout, we have a combination of Max and Jess, which I think is a pretty strong, very strong team, indeed. Now, pretty much what I'm thinking for a Max and Jess is that you just basically play it like Max, and then Jess is just a mini Max. So, it's pretty good stuff. And we also have Andy and Adder. Now, Andy is actually a lower pick for the tier. I believe that Andy is picked as a counter pick to global damage potentially here. So, is it a good pick? I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if the Andy Adder and the Max and Jess can hold up against a Max and Adder and an Olaf and Jess. So, grab a drink, get yourself comfortable, folks, and we are gonna get into this one here. Alright, folks, so we're going to get into it. You guys already know the deal. Day 1, it's standard infantry builds. You always get the infantry on the field, folks. Number 1 priority. We always get those infantry on the field. It is the only thing to do. Now, we are going to actually face right, and we are going to face left. Now, we have a nice little right, left symmetry going on here. So, we're going head first here, head first. Now, we're playing on 2 versus 2 Cressy for this one. Now, this is an interesting map because we actually have a limited amount of bases and airports. So only one team member is going to be able to get an airport, and only one team member is going to be able to get that second base. So, pretty cool stuff, folks. You got to make some early plays. You got to make some early strategic planning between your teammates. Decide who's going to get what. Now, I think when we, my teammate and I did this, we ended up going, I was the one that got the airport, and my teammate got the base. So it's basically looking about the same that's going on here. Maybe not, actually. I believe that I was this position and this position here. So, and Dark Raider here is going for the base right here, which would mean that Winter Fox is most likely going for the airport. So, we'll see what goes on with that one. Now, Andy's air units, I can definitely see an argument for them being like fairly powerful, especially with the global healing, you know. You get a couple battle copters on the field, and as long as they don't get one shot by those artillery, you know, if they take chip damage here and there, you know, they're gonna be good. You know, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna survive on their own. It's gonna be good. Now, we got an early recon here from Dark Raider. Looks like it's going down south here. Now, these corners here are incredibly contested areas. The center is also fairly contested too, but it's also very open. You know, most likely what's going to happen in the center is players just going to grab the properties, and that's it. You know, they just grab the properties, and then they want to go for the corners. The corners have much more value to them. Multiple cities that you can actually capture with that. And I just find that the fighting tends to happen around the HQs here. So we're going to see how it goes for these guys here. Now, we got a tank from Winter Fox. Very cool. So we got a tank up here on the weak side here. Definitely not a bad play. You do want to have this player here definitely go heavy on offensive and defensive over here. Because if you get this side just overrun, well, then it's not a good time. You got to protect these corners. These corners are massively important because they're very, very difficult to flip back in either side if they happen to get captured, right? Because you do have a base right here, but this base is actually fairly isolated. You do have to wait quite a bit of time for these bases to reinforce down here, and this one lone base side, it will eventually have difficulty holding that area. So definitely don't want to be losing that property anytime soon. All right, it's GVanna coming in here with a tank here. We got a little tanky boy. He's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty spiffy over there in the pink. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's looking pretty good. Now, this is basically just a mimicry move right here, right? So, Lynch Fox builds a tank here. GVanna responds building tank here. You know, there's not really anything wrong with that. Now, this tank is definitely in response to this recon, though. This recon's going to come up and start harassing very, very early if nothing is done. So I can definitely see why we would want to do that, you know, for sure. All right, so it looks like Xylito here going for the airport, builds a tank of their own. Now, Xylito being a main CO's max here, definitely want to be getting tanks on the field. Number one priority, got to get tanks on the field. Secondary priority to getting infantry on the field, you know. Third priority is getting them classy boys on the field. That's where it's at, you know. Gotta get the classy boys on the field. All right, so it looks like Winter Fox is gonna be grabbing the comm tower. Now, does this make sense? A little bit, I guess. You know, a little bit. I wouldn't say it doesn't make sense. You know, so Andy and Adder, you know, they're pretty weak. They just got base stats, you know, 100. So by getting the comm tower here, it at least boosts these guys' stats up to 110 on the daily. Whereas Dark Raider here, you know, max already has 120% firepower, which is pretty massive. Pretty massive for those direct combat units, just 110. So in all reality, it's basically just leveling the playing field here. Now, if I was thinking on GVanna and Xylito's side here, team Stalin Brawl, I would probably say that GVanna would have much more of a better time grabbing the comm tower. Especially because Olaf is just base, you know, base. He's an incredibly powerful CO, but base stats, you know. Relies heavily on the global damage and the snow. That's where it's at. And then, you know, if you manage to get that, then Jess would have the 120. So Jess would just be max at that point with artillery. You know, it'd be a good time. All right. All right, so looks like GVanna might be in position to capture the comm tower here. I'm not sure if she's going to go for it. She might decide to go for this middle property right here. Now, we are still, I wouldn't say like very far away from doing combat, you know, but we're not necessarily going to be into any drastic combat. Any like game-breaking combat, you know? So you can delay the comm tower a little bit for sure. But at this point, you know, we're sitting at day 6. You definitely want to be getting the comm tower at least like by day 9, you know, at the latest, I would say. That's when combat is really going to be picking up for this one. Alright, so Xylito rushing that tank forward, building another tank out of this property here. Not quite sure about this one. I probably would have built the tank down here and just like continue the chain, right? Building this tank here, it's kind of telegraphing that we're going to be moving up here with it. Tank right here, if we built the tank chain right here, then this tank could chain to this tank, and then we could still basically reach this area if that was the goal. Corner, definitely, it's like all about infantry, you know, but Winter Fox does have this tank here, so, you know, we want to be prepared for it. So maybe that's just the thing, you know, he's just like, okay, well, you know what, you just can't send your tank up there because I got a tank, and, you know, my tanks are bigger than your tanks, so no tanks over there, no tanks. Alright, so Dark Raider keeping his recon in a very defensive, healthy position here. You don't want it to be struck by a tank super early. Now, it is possible that Dark probably could have left his tank here. If Anna did decide to go in with a tank of her own, it would get struck by this blue tank right here. And from a city also, which would be pretty devastating, you know? So it'd be insanely risky to go in for that attack. But nothing wrong with keeping your recon down here too. Now the recon is definitely going to be a massive harassment to this bottom corner here. So if you can deny this bottom corner like super early, well, it's pretty devastating, you know. And you also have to think when you're playing this match, right? You have this lone corner and you have this lone corner up here, right? So this is basically one base versus this entire army right here, because this entire army is going to be rushing over here, over to the HQ side. Without a doubt, you know, you can potentially send some of the guys up north and do whatever, you know, you got to get up there, you got to defend your boys, you got to keep them healthy, got to keep them protected, but for the majority of it, you know, the majority of this force over here is going to be heading over here. So you want to be pumping out lots of vehicles over here. You know, you want to be keeping it nice and fresh, nice and powerful. You don't want to allow for any unnecessary movement up here, because if Green Earth and Blue Moon, you know, Team Fallout right here manage to get this property, and this property, well, they can form a nice, big, strong defensive line right here. Should be pretty devastating, but we're gonna see, you know, it's only day 6. There can be lots and lots of things that can happen in this game. All right, so it looks like Anna is going up pretty far with her tank right here. Not necessarily a bad move. You know what, we're keeping out of range of everything, so it's not really too bad. The only thing that I don't necessarily like about it is this recon is down here, right? So if we decide to go in for this property, this recon is just going to be coming in and getting a free shot, right? So we do need to get some sort of other deterrent up here pretty quickly if we're going to be fending off this side. But this side up here for these guys, you know, we got 2 tanks and artillery right now. That is pretty good, All right, Xylito moving in, beginning to cap on 3 properties at the moment, which is very nice. 1 in the middle, 2 up top. It does look like both of them could potentially be interrupted, you know, one with a tank, one with an infantry. So this is interrupted, this is possibly interrupted. This is a much more risky interrupt, though, because of the tank presence right here. So a little bit risky. So it looks like Xylito is going for a tank chain up here, too. So, you know what, the tank buy out of here, maybe it wasn't necessary, you know. Not necessary, maybe we didn't need to do that. So we're tank chaining up here, which is fine. We do have a first battlecopter of the game here as well, which is very cool. Battlecopters are, I mean, they're not strong. They're not strong. I think on this map they're actually just kind of maybe a neutral unit. You know, they definitely got a lot of mobility. They can get, you know, from point A to point B super quick. But it's a very open map, you know. So it'd be difficult to actually get them very far without having some sort of like anti-air presence. You know, I think that's one of the things that happened in our game as well. Because I did go sort of heavy on the battlecopters for a little while. It became a little battlecopter spam map, but then the anti-air came out, and it was like, well, that's kind of risky now. So, okay, so recon moving up and just sitting on the city, sitting pretty on a city down here. So, very cool. All right, so Dark, I think that was a pretty good turn from Dark here. We got double caps right here going, a little tank chain moving. We do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this tank is protected, actually. This tank is unable to reach it, so it's cool. This little pesky recon is being super annoying. I don't even know what to do about that, to be completely honest. If that happened to me in my game, I would have been livid. Been like, get out of here, what are you doing here? Alright, so Winter is going for the airport finally. Now, like I said, it's not really necessary to cap the airport like super quick. But it does look like Team Stalin Brawl is going for early airport. So early air supremacy, that's what it looks like here. And lots of properties capped. It looks like Winter Fox is not going to go for any interrupts, which is probably smart. When I say probably, I mean definitely smart. Now, going up and interrupting these 2 properties, like I said, you could do it. Should you do it? Probably not. It's not really advisable. You don't really have enough presence up here in order to actually go for those interrupts. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to deny the properties for a short while, lose your units, and then the opponents are just going to get the properties anyways. So, you know, makes sense. Makes sense for sure. Okay, so GVN, what are we going to do in this sort of situation here? So we're going to cap the comm tower, right? Yeah, we're going to cap that comm tower. Yeah, that's what it's all about. So that's what it's all about. It's about capping comm towers. Okay, so we got a little movement here. We got a little play. Okay, so is this max movement? Yeah, this is max movement. Okay, which is fine. Alright, so we're going to go up and we're going to interrupt the property. Smart. That's what you want to do. You got lots of presence here. Definitely interrupt that property. No reason not to. You know, no reason not to at this point. Now, I'm very curious to see what she's going to do with these tanks in the bottom here and what our build is going to be from right here. So it looks like we got 1 artillery here, which is pretty good. We got 7k left in the bank. So, yeah, we're going to be seeing a tank down south for sure. Yeah. 100%. This tank build is pretty nice too because we have this infantry covered now, so this recon is going to be able to come in and do any freaky deaky stuff. You know, he's gonna be just sitting there, it's blocking the property for quite some time. Now it is Xylito's turn here, so over in purple, looks like we're gonna be getting 3 caps. 1, 2, 3, boom, and we're gonna follow up an attack here. So very nice. So we took that infantry all the way down to 1. We got a nice little wall here. It's looking pretty good, looking pretty strong. What do we need to do though? So we could bring the infantry forward for sure. Bring the infantry forward, sit it on the road, potentially. Could bring the infantry forward down here, sit it right here. Bring the tank forward, add a little extra tank presence. Which probably be a good idea actually. If we move the tank here and the infantry right here, even in the event that Winterfox, let's say, goes up and moves this, attacks this, you know, he wouldn't be able to attack the tank right here without any serious repercussions because of the artillery presence right here. So we're gonna see what happens. Alright, so we sit on the HQ. HQ's not bad. Not bad. Very defensive position. I probably would have just been super risky and busted it like as far forward, like right there, just like, yeah. But that's just me, you know, I'm a risky player. And does risk pay off? Sometimes, not often, but sometimes you gotta do it for the content, folks. Okay, Dark Raider moving up. Double tank build this turn, very nice. Just position the infantry here. Looks like we're bringing a few infantry up north here to start doing something about this up here. We definitely got to do something about that up here. And we got to do something about this down here. The Xylito going double air or double battle copter here as well. Do have a pesky little anti-air here, which is pretty gnarly. Yeah, and it's in a really good position here too. Would have been nice to see the battlecopter maybe move down here. That way we could potentially get free hit on one of these infantry here. But moving it all the way up here, you know, it's not necessarily bad. It's just whenever you're doing it, you gotta watch the anti-air movements, right? I mean, we all get nicked by anti-air sometimes, folks. So we're not immune to it. You know, it happens. And if it happens, you know, whatever, it's fine. You know, you just live and learn. Alright, so Winter not pushing up into this. We're pulling back, so definitely a smart move. You don't want to be losing infantry, especially as Andy. You know, if you have injured infantry, injured units, you know, just pull them back. Pull them back, bring your front line guys, you know, just have a good time. Abuse that Andy privilege. Alright, so Anna doing a pretty tactical move here. You know, we're blocking off our infantry, attempting to get the cap, which is very nice. Building a mech for some reason. Not really sure what the mechs are all about. But looks like Winterfox built a mech here too, which is kind of interesting. So I really want to see what these mechs are gonna be up to here. I'm not quite sure. It's kind of like a really slow movement for the mech to get into any sort of combat up here. So not really sure what's going on with that one. Now, if you guys take a look at the board here too, it looks like GVN is sitting at 12 while the others are sitting around 14, 15 right now. So it does look like Team Fallout has a little bit of an advantage when it comes to income, but GVN is also playing as Olaf, so it can be very, very risky stuff. Alright, so we got an attack up north here. We got a little trade going on here. This infantry is taken down to 2. Very nice stuff. Very nice indeed. Not looking too bad. Bringing the tanks up. You know what I would have actually probably preferred though? This is just like a little nitpicking, right? But we have this tank right here. So this tank is obviously going to be moving on to the city to attack one of these guys. I would probably move like both this tank up here and keep this tank right here. So that if this tank did go up here, you know, you would have to threat 2 tanks, 2-shot in that guy for sure up here. And then, like, bring the third tank, like, I don't know, it's like somewhere out of these tanks' range, but, like, just around here, you know? Because then, like, you know, these guys could potentially move up and take a shot, but would you want to? I don't know. You'd be able to attack one of the tanks that would counterattack this tank, but you wouldn't be able to attack two, which I believe would leave you in a little bit of an advantage here for sure. So maybe move that guy up here just to have the threat of danger. I think that probably would be okay. Alright, so yeah, we're just deathballing right here, which is, you know, it's perfectly fine. But you don't really want to stall against Andy, necessarily. You want to be doing lots of damage against Andy. Forcing a stall is just, you know, that's what Andy wants. You know, he wants the stall. He wants to stall. But, I mean, we do have Team Stall and Brawl here, so, I mean, they're going for the stalls. That's what it's all about. Alright, so Dark Raider pulling his dudes back. Doesn't want to be fighting into that big old mess of ungodly units over there, so doesn't really want to do it. Looks like he's going to be potentially allowing the city cap, although it's not necessarily a free cap. You know, we got 2 infantry ready to interrupt. We got a recon infantry potentially ready to interrupt, so actually we got a full KO here too if we attack with all 3 of them, so it's risky business. Now at this point though, it does seem like Anna needs to go up and do something there. You know, she kind of needs that property. And what the heck is that smell? Oh my god, it's a Neo tank. What is this guy even doing here? What is this guy doing here? Just stinking up my game over here. It's terrible. Terrible stuff. Wonder Fox, you should be ashamed of yourself. Go take a bath. No, I'm just kidding. You're good, buddy. Alright, so we got a Neo tank. We got a Neo tank right here, man. He's pretty good. Pretty good. Not gonna lie. Isn't necessarily like a great buy at the moment. That's yet to be seen. We do have a lot of artillery presence here, so it would ultimately depend on whether or not Team F4llout manages to take out the artillery. If we take out the artillery, well then the Neo tank is basically uncontested in the fighting. Like, not even the battlecopter is really going to be able to stop it. Battlecopter versus Neo tank engagements usually end up being like two damage on each side. Looks so like an 8-8 trade, more than likely. So not really too much going on here. Another mech buy, which is interesting. Interesting mech builds. Okay. So this is what I mean too, right? So if we had moved the tank up here, we would be able to get a 2-hit on this guy, no problem. Because a Xylito, 120, 120. You know what that means? That means 2-hit territory. So be able to 2-hit that guy, and then we might even be able to start a capture as well, which would be interesting. But we didn't decide to go that route, which is fine. So we're going to be shifting our units around by the looks of it here, reforming the death ball, making it nice and big, bringing the tanks back. I guess that's fine. You know, these tanks cover quite a bit still, so I don't know, it's okay. We're going to see what these guys do. That pesky recon moving right back onto the city. Good on Giviana for not going for the bait, though, you know? Not going for the bait. Not worth it. Not worth losing an infantry over. Alright, there's not really much happening that turn. We do have more battlecopters out on the field here. This Neo tank, though, I want to see what this Neo tank's plan is. I also want to see what the mech's plan is. Neo tank just moves up. Okay, not really too much happened that turn. We just had a few units shift around. We did manage to get a KO by the looks of it, take another attack on one of the frontline infantry, so it's not too bad. Artillery infantry KO that easy though, so we do lose that. Ooh. Okay, wait, hold on. What do we? Okay, so we just shifted back to defensive position, I guess. Okay, that's fine. We don't really have. We don't have a blocker. We don't have something to cover this square, though. The artillery probably would have been okay there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. I'm going to leave these guys to their devices because they obviously have a plan. You know, it's Team Stall and Brawl versus Team F4llout. Both of these guys got plans. You know, they're probably sitting in the move planner. You know, their keyboards are probably incredibly sweaty. You know, they know what's up. Okay. Using the battlecopter, as a blocker for the artillery is pretty smart. Pretty smart indeed. Now, I believe that the Neo Tank versus the tank engagement is not a full KO, so we wouldn't be able to KO that. We wouldn't be able to KO this afterwards either. It's not really anything in position to do so. So, not too bad. Battlecopter's moving up. Just slightly out of range of anti-air as well, so, okay. So this is like a big, big old chunk of units. Like a huge chunk of units. You know what? I would probably just like go in and just attack. You know, you have like a pretty hefty advantage over here when it comes to units, so it might be worth it just to go in for an attack, but we'll see. Dark Raider's turn for sure, moving in. Ooh, big old attacks. You know, we've got a couple KOs there. Moves the anti-air in directly. That's pretty good. Got a nice little KO there, you know, moving the units up. Taken on the wall by the looks of it here. And now we do have Winter Fox. Adder in the front here right now too. So that is a 110 to 100 Adder. You know, comm tower, right? So let's see what we managed to do. So we're going in. We're gonna be taking some shots. Take one. The second Neo Tank. Oh my god, it's so stinky. Alright. So, taking the engagement. So, we're weakening the line. Alright, so. Not a bad tactic, you know. Not a bad tactic. But we do get blasted for it, you know. Unfortunately, we don't manage to secure the mountain because that guy just has way too much defense at the moment. Alright, so. The other interesting thing that you really have to think about when it comes to these kind of team games, right? So you have to think about the turn order. So blue has to go first, followed by green at this moment. So if you have these battlecopters and stuff, you know, if you can find a way that the battlecopters can move in and take engagements, whereas the green units would not be able to, or the blue units would not be able to attack because green hasn't moved, go for it. Now, is there a situation right now where that's possible? Maybe. You know, I wouldn't say necessarily like 100%, but there's some potential here. You could potentially like go in and strike this guy, right? You could strike this, and then you could like move 2 tanks right here, take a lead or attack these infantry. Now obviously we have a mech here, which is kind of unfortunate, and the Neo tanks are like right there, which is also unfortunate. But you know, you can do stuff like that. Is it advisable to do it right now though? I don't know, probably not, but we'll see. Okay, Xylito, what are you gonna do, buddy? Alright, we are going to attack 1 infantry, and that's it. Just continue the death ball. Okay. Poor GViana. So we're sitting at 13 to 16, 16, 14. So I guess we're really only down by 1 property at the moment. And that's the 1 property down in the corner. So we're missing that property down in the corner right now. So that's what it's all about. 30-day limit for these tournament matches as well, folks. Best to not forget that. So no matter what happens at the end of 30 days, whoever does have the most properties is going to be the winner for this one. So yeah, pretty good. Alright, so Xylito definitely classing up the place over here with this medium tank build. It's what you need. You gotta keep it classy. You know, in the face of this stinkiness over here, you gotta keep it classy. This is what you gotta do, folks. That's what you gotta do. So, whose turn is it? So it's Winter's turn at the moment. So, Dark Raider moved up and he did like quite a bit of damage here, which is pretty spooky. We might be seeing a full-scale attack. Yep, full-scale attack. Even the Neo tank is moving in right now. Side slip. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. So, not even going to be moving in and attacking. We're going to be just using the infantry as a blocker here. Very cool stuff. Okay, so mech's even moving in. So just forming the line. Just forming the wall. And we got a Neo tank right here in the right spanking in the face of everything right now. 2 Neo tanks technically right in the face of everything. So it's dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff. Not switching out of the power as well in order to keep the defense bonus, which I think is probably a smart move. Alright, so Anna moving up, doing some damage here. Not being able to do anything against the Neo tank at the moment, but we are going to be doing some damage. Moving down south, definitely going to be trying to grab that corner. Now we have some risky stuff here because we have 2 tanks down here. So 2 tank KO right here, become move up, attack this guy. Definitely possible. So kind of risky business, but we'll see what happens. Alright. Building the medium tanks, keeping it classy. There we go. Alright, so Xylito, top of the board right now. We are sitting at day 13. And what are we going to do? What are we going to see? What are we going to see from Xylito? He's got a power ready. Now, does he have, like, much stuff where the power would be, like, super viable at the moment? I don't know. He's purple right now, so we'll see. Alright, so we do go in for the max force. Max force. Big ol' hit on that guy. Bringing in another tank, taking out that tank up north. Pretty cool. Alright, gonna be sacrificing the copter in order to do an attack here. You know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, it doesn't even matter. Okay. Alright. That's fine. Attack the mech. Yeah. Hit that mech. Beat him up. Beat him up good. Alright. So not really too bad of a turn. You know, we managed to do tons of damage up here. We do trap the Neo tank temporarily. Is it completely trapped? No, because this Neo tank can just bust it out for sure. But we did circle it. We did do lots and lots of damage, so we took out many units. So, you know what? It's good. It's good in my books. It's not too bad of an attack. Dark Raider doesn't really have too much to counter that attack as well. Couple, like, little few random engagements up here, you know, but it's, like, it's not anything, like, super significant. Now, if you take a look at the board, right? So, GVN is sitting at 29 units, Dark Raider's sitting at 31 units, Winterfox sitting at 17, Xylo's sitting at 18. So, I would say, like, across the board, it's fairly even, you know, when it comes to units, except after those 2 attacks. Those 2 attacks were pretty devastating. Those 3, 4 attacks, yeah. So, I mean, it was even. It was even temporarily, but yeah, those attacks definitely did quite a bit of work to Xylito here, unfortunately, taking his unit value down quite a bit. Sitting at 777 though, so I mean, like, that's pretty cool. You know, shout out to that right there. Okay, so these Neo tanks are just running amok. We have no counter to them. No counter at the moment. So, see what Giviana decides to do. I think, yeah, I'd probably just get out of that spot. That's a dangerous spot to be in. We don't really want to be fighting up north anymore. So, I mean, there is this infantry here, you know, which is pretty annoying because he might get a cap, you know, but we can't be fighting into that with the units that we have. We do have to pull back and get some sort of defense going. Definitely launch a counterattack after we get a few more units. So we do got 3 classy boys on the field now versus these 2 Neo tanks, which is pretty good. I would say, like, overall, 3 classy boys will probably take out 2 Neo tanks. Or at least come fairly close, you know, so it's looking pretty good. But Dark Raider down here, you know, he's staying classy himself. He's got a medium tank of his own. So, ooh, very good stuff. Medium tank is going all the way west. And Dark Raider's finally making a play for that bottom property as well, so risky business. I mean, it's not really too risky. We do have a potential interrupt right here with 1. But do you want to, like, do much more than that? It's pretty risky because we have, like, a lot of guys here. It's risky for Anna to push in and actually interrupt that because we might potentially lose this entire front. And considering that we got these 3 units right here, plus 2 infantry right here, these guys could shift over right here too, and just completely overwhelm this side, which would force these guys to actually push down, which would allow these guys to push over here. So, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in this situation, folks, but probably involve fish sandwiches and begging for forgiveness. That's about it. Alright, so double Neo tank block on the city cap. Dark dirty. Absolutely dirty. There's no way to get that. Now, when I say dirty, I mean smart. Definitely a smart move. Alright, medium tank sitting on the HQ right in the thick of things up here, so that's very cool. Okay, so Wonder Fox is Andy right now, so there is actually no way to get a movement bonus power in order for one of these Neo tanks to strike this tank right here, or this medium tank, so this isn't necessarily like a terrible position, I would say. Now, we do have battle copters that could strike these, which would be kind of annoying, but in general, this is a fairly well-defended area right here. I'd like it if these guys were a little bit closer, but I think that's just like movement, you know, so not really much you can do about that. We do need to figure out something to do down here, though, because these guys are pushing in like hard, and we can't be letting that happen. Alright, Xyleto, not really much, so stall and brawl, man. Stall and brawl. That's all we got. We got a lot of stall, and then we got a lot of brawl. And that's what we got going on over here. So, Anna, unfortunately, will have to allow the capture of the corner city. There's no way we're going to be able to interrupt that. So, sadly, it's going to happen. So, not really much you can do. And Winter Fox does manage to capture a city up north, which is crazy. So now, Dark is 16, Winter's 15, Xyleto's 15, GVN is 13. So they definitely have the income advantage. So if Wonder Fox decides to just, you know, keep pumping out, like, let's say the Neo tanks, like every 2 turns, it's going to be very, very difficult for Team Stall and Brawl to sort of counter that. Now, we haven't really seen too many other powers here, you know. We've seen, what did we see? We saw like a max power and another max power. So that's really all that we've seen so far. We haven't seen any Olaf powers or anything. No Andy powers. Oh, I lied. We saw a side slip from Adder. That's right. So we did see some powers happening. Alright, we're just going to shift past that one. So that is, once again, truly Stall and Brawl. Not too bad. Okay. Oh, we got the rocket. We got a rocket build. Interesting. Oh, what are we gonna see from the rocket over here? Alright, so just shifting again. That's pretty much it. Alright, and are we gonna see another shift? Yeah. And it's gonna be another shift turn. This is actually kind of a terrifying shift as well. So, if you guys saw that, so look at this board state right here. It's like, you know, whatever. But then it all moves right here, right? So this is like easily going to be able to push over here. This is going to severely disrupt this side, I believe. So it's going to be rough. And it looks like Winter's actually going up and trying to cap another city. Now that is going to be force interrupt here from GV Anna. Definitely don't want that that to happen. And it looks like we're going to be shifting some guys down south right now. So the unfortunate thing right now too is both of the sides, if you were to, I mean, even if this side was to push into here, this side would actually get wiped out by this force right here. If this force decides to push in over here, this force would go down and do some massive damage over here too. So we're in a very interesting stalemate. It's really going to rely on the co-power usage here pretty soon. Alright, so we're going for the double interrupt here. So we're going to attack that guy twice. And Dark Rider does have power ready. I don't think he's going to pop it. This is just another shift turn here. Alright, so nothing really added. Oh, Dark. Ugh. You were so clean. You were so clean for a little while, and then you just pop out with this guy. Now it was fine. It's all good. Alright, so join cap over here from Winter Fox. What did we do? So Neo actually moved in and took out an infantry, 2 infantry with the Neos, which is perfectly fine because that's uninterrupted or uncontested as well. Now there's potential. I mean, there's some potential here. I mean, this Neo tank could actually be struck by Battlecopter medium tank with the Adder power next turn, which could be pretty good. We'll see if that's going to be something that happens. So, now the problem here is if we don't take out this Neo tank, and even this next Neo tank that's just coming, If we don't take out this Neo Tank fully, he's just going to be getting hyper upgrade, and it's going to be very, very bad. Alright, so it looks like Anna's bringing one of the medium tanks down south, bring the rocket forward. Going to be attempting to interrupt the city further. I believe, yeah, so it's 8. Yeah, so that's fine. This guy's not, well, I mean, we could hyper repair and get it for sure, but we're going to probably need another attack on that guy for sure if we don't want that property to get flipped. And this is, okay, so this is the part where the lines all form together. We just got one big line going through now. Alright, so we're making some plays here down south. We've got 3 medium tanks and a potential city flip right here. Once again, easily interrupted, but the presence of 3 medium tanks down here is pretty good because there's a lot of tanks here, but there's not only 1 medium tank, right? We've got a Neo tank on the way, but 3 medium tanks and 2 artillery is pretty good. Oh, that's a, ouch. That's rough. That's rough. So we do chip damage with 2 infantry here as well. So if we look at that, so that was not for power at all. That was for chip damage. So we want to do maximum damage with our medium tank to this guy. See what we get. Oh yeah, 80%. So 80% we managed to take it out completely. That's pretty advanced tactics right there, folks, too. So, you know, we sacrificed 2 infantry, but we managed to take out a full medium tank for basically the cost of like 2 infantry. That's it. So, is that a good trade? I think that's a pretty good trade. Alright, so Winter, once again, going and join capping. Infantry sitting at 9 right now. Neo tank's pulling back, reforming the line. Okay. Sitting at 1, eh? Oh boy, that's risky. Alright, so doing a little bit of chip damage here, taking a few shots here and then using turbocharge. It's pretty good. I don't really know exactly what we're going to be able to get with this. There's too many infantry right here. That's the problem. Okay. So we use the turbocharge, but we don't really get too many hits out of it, unfortunately. Recon did hit this. There was a few attacks down here. Is there anything like... No. That's fine. We do get the defense bonus, which is pretty cool. And now it is Xylito's turn. Alright, so we do manage to take out one of the medium tanks, which is very nice. Now, Neo Tank can definitely go down here and strike this guy right here. Actually, in all reality, Neo Tank should probably just strike the medium tank. Like the full HP medium tank, because it would do like so much damage. I mean, because we can like go right here and probably take out this medium tank. But we do block it off, so I guess that's fine. Neo Tank's still completely safe for now. Which is unfortunate for Team Stalin Brawl, but very, very good for Team F4llout. Alright, so we gotta take a look at the board state again here, folks. So, Xylito sitting at 25 units at the moment at, actually, we'll take a look, actually, at the end here. Okay, so... Big ball battlecopter over here. Going reins in the front lines. Oh boy. She's got some big balls on him. It's good stuff. Alright, so we do got Blizzard ready from Giviana. I don't know if we're going to use it. Obviously, it would be much, much better to actually hold out for Winter Fury. Especially considering the amount of units that are on the field. But not really too much else that we can do at this moment. Okay, so the top of the board at day 20. This is a pretty scary board. This is a pretty scary board indeed. I would definitely say the Team Fallout is much further ahead at the moment when it comes to, well, obviously income. But overall position is pretty up there. It's getting pretty spooky for sure. Now, is it necessarily over? I wouldn't say it's necessarily over. But there's going to be like a lot of attacks that can happen here that are going to be very bad. So it really just depends on what Xyleto decides to do here. Unfortunately, we're only going to be able to get 2 movement from this guy, right? So we won't be able to get a strike on this guy. Now, we do got a couple options, right? I mean, we have a Neo Tank down here, obviously, which is super annoying. But we can hit the Neo Tank with our medium tank. Right, but then we have a whole bunch of tanks down here. And we got tanks right here. So these tanks are going to be easily... Like, they could just walk up here and do tons and tons of damage. And it would be very, very, very rough. So, I mean... What are really the options right here for Xyleto? We got 25 units. Oh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll go with the Sidewinder. Super co-power, folks. That's +2 movement. 6/6. That's rough. That's unfortunate. You know what? When you're a medium tank, you know what you want to see? You want to see like a 5/7. Or even a 5/6, you know? You want to just see that 5. That's what you... Oh, and that's unfortunate. You don't want to see that. That's not good. Alright, so build another medium tank. And going up and taking a few shots here. But Winter's, like I said, Winter's getting really, really close to hyper upgrade, which is pretty dangerous. Now, this is the turn that I'm very afraid for Team Fallout, because we got a lot of tanks down here. We got 2 anti-air. We still have a 6 HP Neo tank. And there's a lot of open stuff. Like, a lot of open stuff. So, we're going to see if we see the max. Yeah, we see the max force. Alright. What's going to happen? Oh, we're doing chip damage again. Dark. Ah! He's got so much chip damage. Yeah, so these are very, very open attacks. And even finishing off with the anti-airs. Ooh. I think we are going to see... Oh my god, we got so lucky. We got so lucky with that one. We still have an open shot right here, which is unfortunate, but that was very lucky. I thought for sure that probably would have been a one-shot, but maybe it's not a one-shot, considering it happened twice. But that's 2 artillery down right now, which is pretty rough, and like a bunch of tanks. Now, Giviana does have like an incredible unit count at the moment. So, I mean, she's got tons of units up here. So we did lose a little bit down here. Maybe it's a calculated loss, you know. We do have Winter Fury coming up right soon as well. So we're definitely going to be seeing Winter Fury. And then Winter Fox coming up here. He's taking a play right out of the chip playbook right here too. Oh boy. That was a pretty devastating attack up north. Ooh. Yeah, so we broke the line up here. So maybe they coordinated that a little bit too. Maybe it's like, okay, so I'm going to use my power. I'm going to hit them down here. You got to hit them up there. Like, it has to happen. Like, this is the turn. Because they're going to get hit by Winter Fury. Boom, 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 boom. Let the winds of war bring snow. And there we go. Snow. It's snowing in July. No, August. It's August now. Oh my god. It's August. Alright, so what is Anna going to be able to do? Alright, so not too bad. We're doing a few good hits here. And the mech moving in. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's some nice attacks over here. So we basically reformed the line down here. So this is actually looking pretty strong now. Medium tank's going to be able to finish the Neo tank, which is nice. This medium tank's going to be able to finish this Neo tank, which is going to be super nice. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is actually okay. Also, just so you guys know, that was 3 supers like in a row here. And potential for another super coming up here. Well, not potential, definitely another super. Actually, potential for even more powers coming up here. And stage 21, right? Alright, medium coming up, finishing off that Neo tank. Very nice. I think we definitely need to swap the max next turn. And get that extra firepower bonus. Are we going to do it? Okay, good. Woo! Thumping my heart, man. Okay. This is not bad. This is actually not too bad. Now, it's unfortunate that Winter Fox is Andy. Well, I mean, it's fortunate for them, but I mean, he's going to get all this stuff healed up, which is not great. So, I mean, maybe Andy's actually a really good pick. Who knows? Alright, so Dark Raider, what are we going to do in response to this little attack here? So we are going to pull back. Yeah, good. I wouldn't want to fight into that. Not with a bunch of injured units, that's for sure. And going to take an attack and use Hyper Upgrade. That is actually going to allow us to snag 2 cities, which is huge. That's huge. Oh. Then the mechs are marching in. See, I was talking a bunch of smack about these mechs early on. But one of them, actually a bunch of them, they're here. They're here in the front lines. Like, it's day 21, but they made it, and they're actually doing some attacks, which is wild. Oh, and is that an HQ cap? Oh my god, that's an HQ cap. That is spooky. That is the spookiest thing I've ever seen. Okay. Alright, so the snow is gone. Giviana. We're gonna be getting another super here. Oh boy. Okay. So not a guaranteed HQ cap. We are gonna get that interrupted here. We do have looks like we have artillery infantry to interrupt that. Actually, we do. We got some potential here. We have 2 Neo tanks that are in range of medium tanks with a max blast. So we do got some potential here. And Giviana just rolling in down south and actually doing a bunch of attacks, taking out a bunch of those injured tanks, and forming a big line right here. Ooh, okay, this is interesting. Okay, so you guys see this last move here, right? So let me... Oh, no. Alright, so we have 2 units right here. This guy's fresh, right? We take it down to 7. Now, did this? I don't know if the artillery fired. The artillery might not have fired. Unless I just missed it, but it might not have fired. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I'm disappointed. Okay. There's some potential here. Okay, so we're like 6, 5, 6, about 6k. I don't know, 6k-ish away from Super. Super could potentially get us 2 Neo-Tank strikes if we play our cards right. We gotta get 6k battle damage though. Oh my god, and there's another medium tank strike that could happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Never mind. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah! It is possible. Okay. Oh, this is that's interesting. Very interesting. You know what we could probably do? I mean, we definitely have to attack this, which is something that has to be done. But we have to get our super coat power. We could probably just like sack tank into anti-air or tank into copter, and then just do a couple infantry strikes, and then that would get it. Because I think then what we'd be able to do is like we would be able to move tank, take out this medium tank, hit this. This medium tank hits this. And then that would be wild. We would destroy like the front line over here. That'd be pretty good. But it looks like we didn't do that. So we go for the HQ. Which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, if we had sacked for the max blast, we could have did tons and tons of damage there. And the fact that, like, okay, so the HQ, obviously, it's like, it's a security risk, right? But it was injured. So it would have been capped next turn. And we did all that mass damage over here. We could probably have still secured an HQ kill, like, afterwards. But I don't know. We've got 2 battle copters here. But there's lots of anti-air, right? So, I mean, that would just be a crazy brawl. Alright, so we got overdrive here from Dark Raider. Popping in with the overdrive. Managing to move up, and yeah, we got lots and lots of hits here. +2 movement, man. That's what it's all about. Alright, so we move in. Oh, the other thing too is that medium could have struck this medium tank right here. So obviously we would get struck by this medium tank right afterwards, but like that would have been massive too. So we would have got the KO for sure. Like I wholeheartedly believe we would have got that KO. Alright, so Winter moves in and does like tons of damage here. Now that could have looked a lot different if we had hit those hit those Neo tanks, you know? It would have been something. Alright, so Anna, we are going to do some counter attacks to what just happened here. And put ourselves in pretty good spot to maybe snag that HQ. Winter's got power here too, so I was thinking that maybe we could leave the HQ open for a max blast right there. But the fact that we have a Neo and a Copter here, and the counterattack we would take, probably would still get taken out. So I don't know. I guess that's fine. Not really too bad. Medium tank. Okay, so this is going to be our max blast turn. So we've had like lots and lots of back-to-back powers here in the last few days. So we take out 1 Neo tank. Very nice. Got another medium tank moving in. This medium tank, what did we attack? Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like that definitely would have killed it. Would have killed it. If it didn't kill it, would have did lots of damage. But would have been nice. We do manage to take that out here, but Dark Raider right now, max blast already also. So we're going to pop the max blast. So that's back-to-back supers here, also from Dark Raider, which is pretty wild. It does manage to come in and just do like massive damage down here. Builds an APC too. Okay, so, and Winter using a power as well. Yeah, at this moment, it looks like pretty big attack. Okay, so GVN does potentially have another Winter Fury here. Definitely sacking a bunch of units to get that Winter Fury. Xyleto down to 10 units right now too. So it's looking pretty rough over there on that end for Team Stall and Brawl, but Team Fallout's looking okay. Winter Fury is definitely a big player in this right now. Doing everything we can to slow down those Neo tanks too. Alright, Xyleto, we do have a Sidewinder. pop the Sidewinder. Oh no. No. Oh no. Okay, so actually that I remember what happened here, and this was actually a boot, unfortunately. I believe the Xyleto got a little bit busy and he wasn't able to actually finish his turn. So unfortunately he got booted. But let's just take a look here, right? So there is actually potential. So what would this be? This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we wouldn't be able to attack this. We could secure this kill. We could secure this kill. So that's pretty good, I would say. We kill those guys. We kill everything up here in this corner. And we could like reform the line down here. And this Neo tank is super injured. So we would have one Neo tank. So this side is actually like, you know, Xyleto, if he rushed in here, we could clean up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can clean up 6 units. And then maybe even 7 with the tank on this guy. So we could clean up like 7 units. So wouldn't be too bad. That would put Winterfox down at like 14. So he would be fairly injured after that. You know, fairly injured. Unfortunately, we did get the boot here though. So considering that this is actually a 20 or a 30-day limit, I would say that most likely Team F4llout probably would have taken the win. Now, this is unfortunate that we got a boot, because that was a pretty good game. And I actually really did want to see what was going to happen at the end of that there. Xyleto still had a fairly strong position. So, despite the fact that he had like very minimal units, I think he probably still could have held out for a little bit longer and definitely do a little bit more damage before the end of it here. Alright, but Giviana putting up a good sport and spamming out those missiles and just allowing for the route victory here. So very, very cool, very, very sportsmanlike. So congratulations to Team F4llout. What a match. You guys played that one very good. Now, who would have known that Andy, my favorite CEO, would have been so good in this format? It was very, very good. Very cool stuff. Congratulations to both teams, though. You guys played fantastic. Very entertaining to watch. And I will be looking forward to the next round. So, one of the next rounds has actually started. Now, unfortunately, due to time restraints, the match between Xyleto and Giviana and myself and Akis May is going to have to be a draw. As far as I know, because just scheduling, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to take that to a draw. So we're gonna actually rush right into like round 3 for our game. But more games in the future of the official Classy Boy Tag Team Tag Tournament. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now.